My Philadelphia Eagles versus the Atlanta Falcons down in Hotlanta. If we set this football game up and say, you know what? How's it check out? The lines haven't moved all season, which is very interesting to me. -3.5 across the board. Over under did increase, though. 47s have now turned into 48s. When I look at this game in the Dome, we'll see who comes out on the Eagles. Did Nick Sirianni hold this offense back, not show much of anything, and they're just going to let it rip in the opener? Matt Ryan, down in the Dome, no longer with Julio Jones, but he does have some nice toys to play with. I have to say, this leans more towards an over for me, Kyle, but you know me. I mean, Kyle, you've done many shows. I'm the last Eagle homer when it comes to gambling. I love to bet against them, love to bet the team totals against them, but I have to say, if I'm looking at a straight line, do you trust the Falcons here to roughly win this game by a touchdown? I'm not so sure that I do.
No. For me, this is sort of a dog or pass situation here. I might take the points with the Eagles, and it all stems down to, yes, the Falcons defense played better the second half of the year once Raheem Morris took over, no doubt about it. But they were still torched by nearly every position. They still have holes in the secondary. They're still not great against the run. They lost their most prolific pass catcher ever in the history of the team, replaced him with a highly touted rookie. Calvin Ridley should be very good. But for me, there's still holes on the Falcons team, and until I see it, they're going to have to prove that to me if I'm going to take them as a favorite. Now, if you go on the flip side of that, it makes me this game I'm mostly staying away from. I just too many unknowns. I think these are two teams pretty equally matched, honestly. Of course, the Falcons have the advantage with the veteran quarterback. We've got the young, athletic guy in Hurts, who, I mean, for second-year guys who were drafted in the second round are going to be the starter. It's kind of been a little bit brutal, right? A little bit harsh for Jalen Hurts. There hasn't been a lot of good vibes coming out from the coaching staff, the fan base, or the betting community about Jalen Hurts. It's basically been, hey, how do we get Deshaun Watson? And we don't trust this guy. They wouldn't even name him the damn starter in the preseason when Joe Flacco and Nick Mullins were his competition, for Christ's sake. So it doesn't exude a ton of confidence in it. But I do think there's holes in that Falcons defense. I think the Eagles can score points. I do think the Falcons can score points too. But sometimes we get, especially with Matt Ryan, the Eagles are going to have a good pass rush. They're going to get after it in the front seven. That's one thing they're going to be able to do. Their secondary still not very good. I know they try to do some things to address it. Still not very good. We'll see if those wide receivers, if the young guys, if Rager and them can come around and sort of help this offense. Of course, they still have the couple of tight ends, and it looks like things were mended with Zach Ertz, so that's a good thing. But this is going to be a close game, and I think the Eagles are live dogs here. When I look up and down the card, and when I'm looking at underdogs who I think can win, Philadelphia stands out. I'm just not sold on the Falcons yet. We'll have to see what they look like. I do like the addition of Mike Davis. But for right now, I think I'll take especially since it's over a field goal. I'll probably take the points here right now with the Eagles as we start the week.
Yep, as I said, fans back in the stands there. We'll see how that comes into. Ridley expected to have a big year. I believe his, yards receiving total is close to 1,300, if not more. Gage and Zacchaeus, the other wide receivers. So obviously a downgrade from Julio Jones when he was healthy. But I think if you're looking from an Eagles perspective with a chance to win, you have two decent cornerbacks now. It's a nice pickup by Nelson in the offseason. So you're just not running the run-of-the-mill bums out there like Michael Jacquet. But you will get a good pass rush, which is key, because if you don't have to bring extra players, you have more back-end coverage, and that organic pass rush is the way to do it. Not a great offensive line by any stretch for me, Kyle, when you're looking at the Atlanta Falcons. This team, outside of Matt Ryan, and we did see the degradation of his arm over the past couple years. This isn't a young guy just whipping it 50 to 60 yards down the field like you see Patrick Mahomes do. That ball usually is balloon balls, which you allowed Julio Jones to run under. Well, Julio Jones is no longer there at this point. So that'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on overall. And the Falcons defense, not a great pass rush. Couple athletic linebackers, not a great secondary. But the one thing that's going to be a key ingredient here, it's not as if the Eagles are coming into with veteran wide receivers that are going to show up in week one. Jalen Reagor, he's had a very underwhelming rookie year. We'll see if he steps up. And then you take a look at, Devontae Smith, who's a great addition to the Eagles. I think he's going to be a good wide receiver, but it is week one for him as well. And he was banged up in the offseason, particularly in training camp where he missed a couple weeks. Jalen Hurts, he's got to step up. Miles Sanders. But the thing I think is a nice little buoy here for the Eagles is the offensive line coming in intact for game one. Boy, did they go through 20 offensive linemen, Kyle, it felt last year.
Right. I mean, how it feels like it's been 2 years where the Eagles have not had a healthy offensive line. Yeah. Jalen Hurts is an athletic guy. Look, I know he's not the most polished passer, and I know not everyone's sold on him, but the kid does have talent. And when you flip it around, if the Eagles are able to get to Matt Ryan, this is not a guy who's going to escape any sort of pass rush. he's going to bail out and throw the ball away. We've seen that over and over again. I do. I think the Eagles are live dogs here. I like the Eagles' chances week 1.
It'll be, and also keep in mind, a couple new head coaches here. So on both sides, maybe some surprises that they were holding back. Keep an eye on that as well, but we'll certainly be watching. Let's keep moving it down here. This is so much fun, man. Like,